JJ, welcome back to Breakdown. Saturday, July 27, 2024. JJ, we're going to do a little hodgepodge of activities going on now with a focus on the Big Ten and the SEC. You ready to do it?
You know what? Even though it's Saturday, I'm ready to do it.
All right, let's do it. Let's start off, JJ, with what everybody loves, SEC football.
SEC football.
Let's talk Kirby Smart.
Even though the Big Ten has the current crown.
That's right. Let's talk Kirby Smart.
Let's talk Kirby Smart.
And the Georgia Bulldogs.
Or as I like to refer to him, the next Urban Meyer.
The next, can you break it down as to why you're giving him that classification?
Well, if you guys have been paying attention to the Georgia Bulldogs this offseason and last offseason, they've had 24 arrests. They've had 24 traffic arrests, since 2022. And I'm pretty sure that leads the nation. And they've had other arrests as well. They had the wide receiver just got arrested for domestic violence.
Ray Thomas.
Yeah. He just had a more disturbing arrest as well. But I'm not sure if everybody's familiar. Georgia, right after winning their second championship, had a member of that team as well as a staffer of that team die in an alcohol-related drag racing incident. So, and since then. They've been collecting arrests like Tic Tacs. I don't know what's been going on.
Yeah, they have. The one most disturbing is I may be mispronouncing it. Ray Thomas, as you mentioned, is rated for second-degree cruelty cruelty to children. That's what he was arrested for. The sad thing about that is, though, he was arrested back in January 23 for domestic cruelty, something like that, which is similar to the one that he just got arrested for. Seems like there's a pattern going on here, JJ.
Yeah, lack of institutional control. I think, I say Kirby Smart's the next Urban Meyer, but I think he's a mix of Urban Meyer and Nick Saban. He's the odds-on favorite to win his third championship in 4 years, which would place him in
Nick Saban,
a very elevated category, something, Urban Meyer and very few people have done. But yeah, they seem to not have a control over these kids speeding. Specifically,
that's got to change.
Yeah.
But JJ, you mentioned we're talking coaches, and you mentioned Michigan. Let's go to Michigan for a moment.
Okay, let's stop in Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Talk Netflix. Yeah, Netflix has a documentary coming out on August 27th.
Oh, a month from today.
Yeah. Tell me about that documentary.
Oh, it's called The Sign Stealer. It's about one of the most infamous coaches in Central Michigan history, if you were watching that day. But it's going to be about Connor Stalions. It's going to feature him. He's going to speak. He's going to be interviewed for the first time in this capacity, like a long-form interview. And it's going to be a documentary commentating on the entire sign stealing fiasco and what he all did. I assume he's going to reveal his side of the story, whether that be the truth or not. But it's coming to a TV screen near you.
Yeah, that got Harbaugh suspended for what, 3 games?
Yeah, it gave the current Michigan coach opportunity to
prove his worth,
to beat Penn State and Ohio State, and he already has one win over Ryan Day currently. So it gave the current. Honestly, it probably helped the current coach get the job that he has right now.
It probably did, although I think the book's going to record that win over Ohio State belongs to Jim Harbaugh. Didn't they say that?
Well, the books might record it, but we were all there. We watched it.
Okay.
I saw Jim Harbaugh not be on that sideline. I saw the offensive coordinator
I got you.
coach the entire team.
And he made the calls.
Yeah, Sharon Moore did that.
Yeah. We talking football. Let's talk Rose Bowl. You like the Rose Bowl, don't you?
The granddaddy of them all, the best bowl game that there is out there.
I don't know about that.
It really is. It's been a holdup in the college football playoff and when it's been played because it's stubborn insistence on being played January 1st.
Stubborn, you say?
Yeah, they can be pretty stubborn.
So how does that relate to the college football playoffs?
Well, the traditional New Year's Day bowl games were going to be in a rotation for the quarterfinals. It's going to be like the Rose Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Cotton Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, things of that nature.
So we're gonna get down to the last 8 teams.
Yeah, for the
college
I mean,
football
it was supposed to be for the semifinals. I mean, it was
Okay.
supposed to be for the last 4 teams.
Okay. Well,
It was going to be on a rotation
Come
schedule.
out. It's 8 teams, 4 games. Quarterfinals.
Semifinals.
So only.
So
only two.
the
two
Rose
teams.
Bowl asked to be in the quarterfinal rotation. They were originally slated to be in the semifinal rotation, but because the
Right.
semifinals are going to be played a week after, they've asked to take a step back and be put in a quarterfinal rotation. But there hasn't been they haven't addressed whether the quarterfinal rotation is going to be at the home games of the programs or if they're going to be at bowl sites. They haven't made that stipulation yet. So for them to take a step back and ask to be in the quarterfinal rotation so they can maintain that January 1st date,
Okay.
it might be encroaching and infringing upon like what could be a potential home game for a Notre Dame or something like that. It could be played in South Bend or Michigan. So that's what the controversy of that is about.
I got you. I just think, man, they love their tradition.
Yeah.
Tradition is more important than a lot of other things. I don't know.
I think that the Rose Parade is very important to them, and since that's going to be January 1st, I think that in some ways might be more important to them than the bowl game itself. Now that the Pac-12 doesn't exist.
Well, yeah, and I don't think the Rose Bowl parade will affect it, but who knows? We'll let the Rose Bowl and their representatives haggle with that.
Indeed, we shall.
Okay. JJ, we're still on football.
Okay.
We were talking Pac-12 in Pac-12 Big Ten, but now let's go just Big Ten and
The other Power 3 conferences.
yeah, roll specifically Dillion Gabriel,
Dillion Gabriel. Okay.
quarterback.
Big Ten quarterback. He's currently the front runner for the Heisman Trophy.
And he plays for.
He plays for Oregon. He, was a former UCF Knight, then transferred to Oklahoma for a couple of years. He's going to finish his final year. This is the final year of the COVID extra eligibility. This year is over after this year.
No more
Finally.
no more 6-year college play.
Finally over.
Okay.
So he's going to have his last year played at Oregon. It almost was played in somewhere else that starts with an O.
Tell us why he declined Ohio State.
Well, Ohio State had interest in him, but he had to make a decision before the Cotton Bowl. And Ryan Day, in Big Ten Media Days, Dillion Gabriel said that Ryan Day wanted to evaluate Devin Brown's performance to see if they wanted to bring in another quarterback. So if you remember in the transfer portal window, Dillion Gabriel was the first big name to make that announcement that he was transferring out of Oklahoma. And he was the first to announce the school he was transferring to, Oregon. That was before the title game happened. So, Dillion Gabriel wanted to make a decision quickly, and Ohio State wanted to weigh things out. And Ohio State did end up taking the transfer quarterback after the Cotton Bowl. Devin Brown got hurt. He has a history of getting hurt, so he wasn't properly evaluated. But they got the Kansas State's transfer quarterback.
Okay, Brown. So Ohio State, will they be better off with Brown or Gabriel?
I think they would be better off with the guy that's currently the odds-on favorite to be the Heisman Trophy winner.
Do those two teams play each other this year?
They do.
Oregon and
They play out there in Eugene.
looking forward to that game.
And Ohio State is favored to win the Big Ten. Oregon is favored to play in the Big Ten title game. So they're supposed to be the runner-up. So we will see about that game in Eugene. They might be playing each other twice.
I'm about to say they could play each other twice. Very interesting with that. Football is knocking on the door, JJ.
It's almost there.
I'm getting itchy.
Can you wait that month?
Man, do I have to?
Unfortunately, that's how time works. You're gonna have to wait that month.
Well, JJ, before we get out of here, let's talk Olympics. Olympics started yesterday.
It is the Olympic season. Do we want to talk about the roster?
We
the
do.
scholarships.
Yeah,
Stick on football.
let's stay on that. House versus NCAA.
Yeah, so they announced that the scholarship limits are going to be raised from 85 to 105
In football.
in football, from 13 to 15 in men's and women's basketball, and from 11.7 to 34 in baseball.
Okay. And just for the women's basketball already was at 15. It's going to
Yeah.
remain at 15.
Yeah.
Men is going to go from 13 to 15.
And another huge thing is that the football scholarships are going to be allowed to do partials now. Before you were forced to give, the Division One people, if they were going to give a scholarship, you were forced to give them the full scholarship. But now that you can do partials, and you have 105 scholarship limit to work with, what's going to happen to walk-on programs at like the top tier schools? Are they going to have walk-on programs? Are they just going to have partial scholarships, divvied out? If you have 105 full scholarships, I mean, that can turn into 120 when you do partial and full scholarships. So your entire roster could completely eliminate the walk-on program at a lot of different schools, and it could also decimate, some of the Group of 5 FCS schools, their rosters, because you have that room to offer a roster spot for a scholarship roster spot when you otherwise wouldn't.
The preferred walk-ons are pretty important for a lot of schools right now.
Mm-hmm.
If you eliminate that process to make those guys partial scholarship players or whatever, it'll be interesting. I am actually surprised that the scholarship roster limits went up. I was anticipating them to go down. With the House versus NCAA, they're going to be revenue sharing. Total revenue, you can share up to 22% of the total revenue, which is going to be interesting to see what kind of money these athletes are going to be getting. These schools are making lots of revenues, JJ. We're talking total revenue. We're not talking just football revenue.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. The big thing about House versus NCAA is that those laws also apply to Title IX. So there's going to be some interesting future happenings in the NCAA. That's all I can say.
It is a brave new world in college sports, that's for sure.
Yes. Can we go to the Olympics now?
Now we can pivot to the Olympics.
Okay. I love the Summer Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
I always wonder how players from my team, how they are doing in the Olympics. How many players from Arkansas are in the Olympics? Let me answer that question.
Total athletes throughout all sports?
Well, I'm just saying with Arkansas ties.
Okay.
Arkansas has 23 players.
The University of Arkansas, not just people from Arkansas.
Correct. I'm sorry. We're talking college sports here. University of Arkansas. That's 10th best among colleges.
Mm-hmm.
10th best.
Impressive.
How are some of the other schools?
Well, obviously Stanford leads the way with they always lead the way. But you have a couple of Big Ten schools in second and third. Your traditional Big Ten school, USC. That's obviously who you think of when you think of Big Ten.
They're number 2.
They are number 2.
Big Ten must be proud.
Yeah,
Okay.
Absolutely. And then of course, University of Michigan is third, and they regularly have a lot of they invest in their Olympic athletics, so they regularly have representation in the Olympics.
So Stanford just ran away with it.
They always do.
From an Olympic perspective.
They do that.
Wow. Michigan State, they have 3.
That's not bad.
No, it's not.
I mean, some schools probably don't got any. I don't know if Central has any, honestly.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. What's your favorite Summer Olympic sports?
I mean, my favorite sport ever is basketball, so it's always going to be that. But I watch basketball all the time. I like the exposure to new sports. For example, today I watched handball for the first time, which is a combination of soccer, or no, not handball, netball. Or maybe, I can't remember if it was handball or netball.
I think it was netball.
I think it was netball, but it's like a combination of soccer and basketball. I like seeing like the new sports. They have breakdancing as an Olympic event this year.
Are you in it?
Nah, these knees
man.
can't handle that, but they got breakdancing. I'm excited to watch that one. I just watched some cycling, some women's judo, some men's volleyball. I watch. I'm excited for the sports that I don't watch regularly. That's what I like the opportunity for the Olympics. What about you?
You know what? To be honest, I like the track and field Olympics best,
Mm-hmm.
and then I like the basketball and the soccer.
Yeah.
Those are my 3 favorites. But on that note, JJ, we got anything else?
No, I think that's about it for now.
Your big day is getting closer and closer, JJ. Still feeling good?
Yeah, I'm feeling good about the opening day for the Bengals. I think we're gonna win it all. Go Go to the Super Bowl. Who they?
All right, man. Let's get out of here.
Yes, sir.
WPS. Wool Pig. Suey.